Okay, so don't run away, anybody. We have more. I can see you running. You're not allowed to run. There is more. There's more to come. I hope you've brought an extra pair of socks because you're about to get yours knocked off. Luckily, I'm wearing very tight boots, so hopefully they won't. I'd like to welcome to the stage Abhijit Sinha. He's an educator who's challenging the very idea of education. He's the founder of Project DEFY, and that creates schools that have no teachers, no exams, or curricula. So please put your hands together for the wonderful Abhijit Sinha.
You sit there.
You're going to sit here? Where do you want to sit?
You sit there.
I'll sit there, okay. Thank you, sir. Nice to see you. So, Abby, he said I can call him Abby, it's okay. I didn't just presume. I'd like to know a little bit about you. So a quick introduction and a bit of your journey.
Well, this is going to be fun.
He's had a bit of a sore throat recently, so bear with him.
I come from Bangalore. I came to Bangalore after finishing university, after finally completing my education. Very excited to move to the city and start living my dream of being free and happy. Because all of my childhood, this is what I was told, that you work a little hard, you skip a few birthdays, and struggle a little bit, but one day you will finish university, you'll get a job, and happiness is just waiting down that tunnel.
And was that true?
No, hell, no. It was the complete opposite. And the first day I walked into my workplace, I can remember this, it's like a picture stuck in my head. I walk inside, and all of these guys, they turn around to see who's the new kid in the office. And the office is beautiful, you know, it's got bean bags and nice furniture and lots of color. But you can see in everybody's faces that there is no happiness and there is no freedom. And very quickly I realized that they were looking for happiness and freedom only on Sundays. But Monday to Saturday, it was just misery. So that was how, I didn't take it for too long. I survived 6 months in this workplace, and then I was out without a plan or without any thoughts. And eventually I started building a school for myself, school for one person, to start my education all over again, to undo all the damage that school had done to me. So, yeah.
And when it's a school for yourself, well, I guess you passed all the exams with flying colours. That must
No
be
exams, nothing to pass.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. So now this is a big question, I know, and I know we only have about 15 minutes, but in your eyes, what is broken with education?
Nothing. No, it's nothing is broken with education. That's the problem. This is where successful education has got us, in this nightmare. Education does exactly what it is designed to do, to break your connection with three things: with nature, with people, communities, forests, land around you, with money, with resources, and with yourself. And it does this so beautifully. Even after 300-400 years, it is able to do that exact thing, produce that exact outcome that it was initially designed to do. So no, nothing is broken with the system, and there's no point trying to fix it. The system is inherently evil, and you don't try to fix cancer, you try to get rid of it. That's the point.
So we're not trying to fix education, we're trying to get rid of education. That's a bold claim. That's where the socks come in, I guess. So what is the root of that problem?
Well, it is famously known that schools have their origin story in industrialization. If you go a little bit before that in wars. And the idea of creating a school was never the upliftment of the child. That was never even in the list of agenda of the school creators. The idea of creating a school was to create the perfect feeding system into industry. Just think about it. People who are living in villages, having big pieces of land, big houses, clean air, clean water, no 9-to-5 job, all the time with the family. Why would they come and work inside a factory and move to a city, get a small house, get dirty air, dirty water, no time for the family? Why would somebody do that knowingly? And so this system was created so that you would accept this. You would accept so much being taken away from you and not say a word. This is, we keep talking about, oh, we have lesser teachers, we have lesser money, we have to put digital devices in school. This is not even the point. The point is, why do schools exist? What is the purpose of this educational format? And the purpose is rooted in extracting, in taking things away from people, from communities, so that when you leave your village, when they come back to your village and they take all the land away, you feel, no, that's okay. These are backward people. These are illiterate people. In India, a very common term, I'm a first-generation learner, as if everybody who came before you was completely stupid, right? So it becomes a lot easier for people to take things from you when you're voluntarily ready to give it away, when you're voluntarily ready to accept having fun only on Sundays, when you're voluntarily ready to have a slightly better car while the world around you burns. It takes a large number of people to be voluntarily ready for that.
I also try to have fun on Tuesdays sometimes. Yeah, Tuesday afternoon is my key fun slot. So how does Project DEFY approach learning differently from this traditional system?
We don't have to do much. The spaces we create, we let people make the decisions as to how they want to run it, what they want to learn, what is important to them. We bring people together, communities together, and help them ask questions to each other. And that's it. That's really enough. It doesn't require these complex ideas of 17 stages of education. It's really not needed. It's also not based on any scientific theory. So when we're creating these learning spaces, we are asking people, what is it that is important to you, and what matters to you, and what are you curious about? And the journey of finding those answers is what is creating a beautiful learning space, as opposed to the fanciest furniture.
Again, the idea of curiosity is absolutely vital. I haven't met that many students who are curious about Pythagoras' theorem. There aren't that many who are like, but how do I work out the hypotenuse? What do I do, Harry? So that idea of curiosity. Oh, you have?
I have, but that kid was never taught Pythagoras' theorem. I think when you're taught Pythagoras' theorem, you have a reason to dislike it. But when you end up finding a situation in life when you need to use it, that is a much more powerful way to learn and find it useful.
So I want to know about nukes. Is it nukes or nooks? How do I pronounce it? Nooks. Okay, sorry for the terrible pronunciation there. And you've coined this term nooks. Now, what are they?
We take this word nook from a very interesting Hindi word, which is nukkad. So nukkad is that little corner in a village where after a day full of work, people just come and hang out. It's evening, there's somebody serving tea. It's not really anybody's space. It's an open space. Nobody leads it, nobody controls it. People sit and gossip, and they have fun, and they be themselves. We felt our spaces are kind of like that, where people can be who they are, as opposed to who they should be in the eyes of somebody else. So nooks are just very small learning spaces created with communities, sometimes like a house, and the people who are, there's some basic furniture, there's basic tools, there's an internet connection, there's some computers, there's a lot of trash collected from around. And then there are people. And these people are as young as 8, 9 years of age to as old as 72. 72 is our highest right now. They all come together as learners, and then they start thinking, why are we here? And, what matters to us?
So all sorts of people use them. It's not just for
Yes.
school-aged children, it's for anyone who wants to learn.
Yes, I mean, wouldn't that be natural, that learning should not just be for children? So all ages, we've had older than 72 years old, and use them the same way. They come 3 to 4 to 10 hours every day, so they don't just come once in a February. Like, no, they're spending a lot of their time there. And for many, it is their primary source of learning.
So when we look at traditional education as it is, we measure success in numbers, with exams. Like, for example, my daughter is at school, and once every 3 months, we get sent on an application a list of 10 numbers. That is it. That's it. All I know about my daughter is 9, 9, 9, 10, 9, 9, 10, which apparently is brilliant. I have no idea how she interacts with anybody. I have no idea what she actually knows, but apparently it's great because she's done well in these exams. So how should we really be measuring success of learning?
You shouldn't be. I mean, the problem is the assessment. Just think about it. Did you ever try to measure how good your daughter is at making friends? No, like what score would that get? And you say traditional. I'm from India. Traditional can mean very far back in time. And when we go very far back in time in India, we did not have these numeric assessment methods. It was not necessary. People did what they did, they learned what they learned, and they built a life. And the life itself was the assessment of how good the learning was, as opposed to trying to measure every second that, hey, how much have you learned something? However, I think we get this assessment by numbers from the industry because we want, it's a training program. So how much have I trained you to behave the way I wanted you to behave? That's why I need numbers to assess that. But if it was really about a life being impacted, there is no way you can create any assessment that is shorter than 10 years. It would make no sense, and doesn't make any sense. Everybody knows about it. We just keep going on with it. That's the problem.
It's funny because we talk about, 21st century skills, you've got collaboration, critical thinking, all of these different ideas. And it's talked about a lot in education. But the fact that they can't easily assess it means it often gets left to one side by heads of schools and things like that. So these important, softer skills, again with inverted commas, are often forgotten.
No, but see, you can't there's no point making a new cloth with the same thread. It's like we're trying to create better things inside the same fabric of school. It won't work. Because again, we're trying to find ways of measuring good things that we want to bring into the school. You have to think very radically differently. And honestly, at this point, it's not even a choice. Radical changes will come into the school. It's either going to look very dystopian, like when in the first presentation, with everybody with headsets and not talking to each other. It's either going to look like that, or it's going to look like people gathering in nature and talking to each other. But radical shift is definitely going to come because the training mechanism for industry is just no longer needed. AI will be a very good replacement for that. But if you really want people to learn and to get together, that's not going to happen in this school. And there's no point changing the assessment metrics within the school. We must change the school. We must change that system. And we have to have enough guts to say that it is okay to expect that the whole system can change, and not just this micro changes inside the same monolithic system. For 70 years, we've been trying to change it in India. It doesn't change. We put in so many computers and so many smart classrooms, and all of that doesn't change because it is designed to be very resilient as a system.
So who's going to look after our children? We're at our 9-to-5 jobs then, Abhi? How are we supposed to get around that?
Yeah, to change the education of one child, you will have to change society. It's a given, you know. It's very famous that this whole idea that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yep.
It also takes a child to raise a village. It takes this one child, and changing his or her education requires the complete overhaul of how society works, how humanity looks at children, not see them anymore as guinea pigs or economic assets for the future, but actually as complete human beings. Maybe then there's a way.
So what is one insight that you wish every policymaker or educator would hear? What's one thing that you would give to all of these people who are in this system? I know that you're trying to get rid of this system, but how would you give them some advice, some insight?
Sit inside a classroom, see how terrible it is. You will know your answers, I think. I've done this experiment a few times, inviting adults to come and sit inside a regular classroom in India. And I challenge them, if you can do 1 hour for 7 days, you're fit for working in education. 7 days, 1 hour each day. The first hour, the only thing is you have to do what any child is asked to do. So far, nobody lasted more than 4 hours or 4 days. And at the end, everybody said the same thing. It's too humiliating, right? You just have to sit in the classroom, you will know what's wrong. Cooking up theories about what needs to be right for the child is completely baseless. Listen to the child, they will tell you.
It's funny because now, you know, the teachers in schools are saying, well, kids they can't sit still anymore, they don't know how to listen, they can't concentrate anymore. But if you're asked to sit down in a chair for 6 hours a day and be talked at by somebody, I wouldn't be very good at that.
No. Poor teachers, I feel for them. Teachers are as much a victim of the system as students are. They're all put together in this little crucible, and made to believe. I mean, if a teacher says that they don't sit still, how come somebody reached that point as an adult to believe that they're supposed to sit still? How does that make sense? So it's as much harmful for the teacher as it is for the child, as it is for anybody who's being affected by the system. And guess who it is useful for? The only people it is useful for are the people who are not participating in that system. They just make sure that the system continues. They don't send their kids to regular schools. They don't send their kids to, for them, it's always alternate schools. They're not sending their kids to places where they grow up to believe that getting a job somewhere is the best thing that can happen to them. Yeah.
So Abhi, we've only got a minute and a half left. How can other people get involved, support, and learn more about Project DEFY?
Write to us, but also just create a damn school in your place. We've started believing that only governments and big companies can create schools. No, we have to bring schools back into the hands of people. Anybody should be able to create a school, any group of people. It does not have to be the most perfect school. It does not have to be the most well-resourced $80 million school. No. The best learning environment is where the best engagement of people happens, and that usually does not require too much. But if you're still curious, reach out.
Where can everybody find you?
projectdefy.org or Instagram, LinkedIn. You can search my name. Yeah.
And of course, they can find you over at your booth, over in education. They can find you there physically. He'll be there. He'll be resting his voice for a while, though. So thank you very much, Abhi. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck with everything. Thank you so much. A huge thank you to everybody for coming along and listening today. I know it's been warm. I know you're all hungry, but there's another wonderful session coming up now, so do stick around, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much.